Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. Just thought I'd return to you for this next album review. I hope you guys will enjoy this album review for Iron Maiden's self-titled album. So I'm going to discuss what I listened to for the 8 songs on this 1980 record, their first studio album with the singer Paul Di'Anno. Um, so I'll let you know what my thoughts are on this record overall. So let's dive into this 8-track album review. Now it starts with Prowler, which is a pretty strong track. Really enjoyed Paul Di'Anno's singing in this, and some of his angsty vocals sound pretty strong for the most part, but there are some moments where I think some of it can get a little hit or miss, but other than that, this was a strong opening track, so 5 out of 5 for sure. Remember Tomorrow's another strong track that I enjoyed. So it's pretty strong track. I think the guitar work and the drum work is pretty solid for the most part, and just overall Paul Di'Anno's singing in it is pretty good for the most part. It starts off melodic, but it picks up in the chorus, and that's what I really liked about this track. That it's had a slow start, but does progress as you keep going through the track, and progresses in a good way. 5 out of 5, I meant to say. Um, yeah, Running Free is a 4.5 out of 5 for this one. I think this one's solid. It's a good track, but it's not one of my particular favorites. But it's good for the runtime. Solid material from the guitar work and drum work, and Paul Di'Anno's singing for the most part is fairly alright, and it makes the song progress and go by a lot smoothly. So it's a 4.5 out of 5. Phantom of the Opera was kind of my least favorite. Not the very least favorite track, but it's solid. So it's a 4.25 out of 5 for this one. I think execution wise, Paul Di'Anno's singing was alright for the most part, and the guitar work and drum work had its good moments, but it was a pretty lengthy song. It was like 7 minutes and 21 seconds. But it did alright for the most part, so 4.25 out of 5. It's above decent. Transylvania Instrumental is a strong track for an instrumental track with the guitar work playing out very well, and the drum work was pretty strong too. Sorry, it's raining right now where I'm at. It's going to be raining most of the week where I'm at. So overall, I think it's a 5 out of 5 for this one. Very strong track. It executed pretty well for the most part, and the instrumentation in it is very strong. Strange World is a good song in its own way. I'd give it a 4.5 out of 5 for this one. I think how Paul Di'Anno's singing it for the most part is very melodic, but it does work and it progresses as you go forward. The chorus is the highlight, but overall the verses are fairly solid. So 4.5 out of 5. Charlotte the Harlot is kind of cringy, but it's mediocre at best. Not the worst, but not the best. But just a mediocre track. It's above average, but it could have been a little better with the execution. It's just the way the lyrics are coming off. It sounds a little cheesy for the most part. But overall, I think. Sorry about the ding. That's my PlayStation thing or whatever. So I don't know why it's doing what it's doing, but it's just a notification basically. I am so sorry about that. But Charlotte the Harlot's gonna get a 3.75 out of 5. Not my favorite song, it's my least favorite. But execution wise, it panned out mediocre-ish. Iron Maiden is a good song. I really enjoyed this one. Not one of the best tracks, but it's a solid one for the most part. Paul Di'Anno's singing in it is alright for the most part, and just the execution of how this track's playing out with the guitar work and drum work did pretty well for the most part. So, a good closing track for the record, but it's a 4.5 out of 5 for this one. So, then, yeah, I know there was an extra track, Sanctuary, but I just didn't want to add that to this 8-track record. So basically, I'll probably think about reviewing it, but I don't know if I want to. But overall, production, mixing, and execution wise, I think Iron Maiden's self-titled record is decent. It's not the best material, but it's decent material for the most part. I just think Paul Di'Anno's singing from time to time has its good moments and its weak moments with how the songs are executing for the most part. And just overall, the guitar work and drum work is pretty good for certain songs, but then there's a few bumps in the road through this record and close to the end of the record that kind of make the album tank a little, not to the extent where I hated this record. So if I were to give Iron Maiden's 1980 record, their self-titled album, a score, their debut album, I'm feeling a 7 out of 10. It's a decent listen, not one of the best, but not one of the worst to start off this Iron Maiden discography. And I know there's 17 albums, so I probably will do a re-review for Senjutsu for sure, just to let you guys know, to give you my new take on what I think of it as of now. But overall, I think Iron Maiden's self-titled record, decent listen. It's a 7 out of 10 for me. I will be reviewing Killers tomorrow. I think that's what the album's name is, Killers. But from what I listened to, 7 out of 10 for Iron Maiden's self-titled album. Hope you enjoyed this album review this afternoon, and thank you guys for watching.